Hello and welcome to my channel. Today we are going to be making sweet buns. Okay, and first we have some yeast. That's about 10 grams. 10 grams of yeast or 2 tablespoons of the small, that small cup like that. 10 grams. And then I'm going to be adding some dry fruits. I'd already soaked them in some warm water. And we'll just add that. That is mixed fruit. You can put dried fruits of your choice. I chose to use the cake mix in mine because I needed them to have some fruit. And then you're going to add 200 ml of water. You can add milk, some warm milk, not too hot to touch because I'm using instant yeast and that can really go bad. It can kill the yeast. Then I'm going to add 1 egg. It's optional. You don't have to use an egg when you're doing your recipe. You don't have to use an egg. So mine, I just decided I want to use an egg. Now beat that up really well. And then add like 2 tablespoons of sugar, not too much sugar, just 2 tablespoons, and then beat that up. You know that buns shouldn't be they shouldn't have lots of sugar. So you'll beat that up really well and ensure that it's well incorporated in the mixture. And then we are going to add either butter or margarine. Just add very little, about 100 grams, 100 to 50 grams of margarine or butter. You can add margarine or butter, yeah, whichever that you have. You don't have to worry about that. Just add a little. Take your spatula. You can use your spatula. Spatula is good because it really scrapes the ends of your bowl really well and none of the butter is left. So that's about 100 grams of margarine. I used margarine. That's what is available in my country. So you'll mix that up in there. Don't worry if it is too, you don't have to melt it. Just leave it like that. As you're mixing, as you're kneading your dough, all that will still get incorporated into the dough. So don't let that stress you. And then after you've done that, we are not going to proof that for now because I'm using instant yeast. It's for me it's easier. Then because I need my buns to have some color, what I've done is added, oh my god, not even a pinch, very little, like you've seen, very little. Like if you have nails, maybe you can use just a half of the nail of color. You see, even this one is quite a lot. So don't overdo the food color. Do not. And I used the egg yellow. I used egg yellow. And then we are going to add in 3 cups of flour. That's the first cup of flour. And then you'll incorporate that really well into your dough and mix that up really well. You can see my fruits are really looking nice in there. They're looking nice. They're looking delicious. So mix that up really well. And then you can add your 2nd cup of flour. Add your 2nd cup. When you add your 2nd cup, you'll realize that the dough is getting a bit stiff. When the dough begins to become a bit stiff, then you can start working on it with your, you don't have to add color, by the way, but I just thought the sweet buns really look nice when they're just that nice yellow color. They look delicious, they look nice, they look yummy. So that's what you're going to do. You keep adding that, and then you'll add your 3rd cup of flour, whatever, however you pronounce it, still the same thing. Like I said, when it begins to become stiff, you'll begin to work that with your hands. Like when you get to the 3rd cup of flour, what happens is that you can no longer manipulate your spatula. It becomes really hard. So what I've done is just scrape that out with your hands. Ensure that your hands are very clean. Whenever we are doing, if you watch my videos normally, and because I do things, home recipes, I'll get a few orders here and there from other people, but I prefer to use my hands. So just work that dough. When it gets to that firm consistency, now it's time for us to put it on our surface and begin to work it. Remember, this can also, you can also put this in your bread pan and actually make a very fine loaf of bread. But today I want us to work on different designs of sweet buns, and you'll appreciate this. So if you've been having a hard time getting the kids to eat, you can design, you can make very nice designs from this dough, and then you can entice your children maybe to have their little dosage of carbs. Okay, so what we've done is that we are working the dough. And if you saw before, it was getting a bit sticky. So the reason as to why we do this, when we are working with things like bread and buns, you really need to knead that dough. You need to knead that dough. We are using the bottom part of the palm, so you keep on doing that so that all the flour, and you'll know when it's ready. You'll know when it's ready because once you press on it, it will spring back up. It will spring back up. So we continue to knead that for about 5 minutes until we feel that the dough is now ready, and we can move on to the second part of our video. So our dough is looking really nice there. We want to add, we want to knead it for about 5 minutes, and then we can begin to work it. So on this part of the video, we'll be looking at, this is my pan. This is my flat pan, and I have my oil there. So I want to oil the base of that pan because that's where our buns, our sweet buns, we'll let them rise on the tray, because that tray is what we are going to bake with in the oven. So, and it's huge. Remember that all these things are going to double in size, which means they require a bigger pan. They require a big pan in order to facilitate the rising. So this is my dough. I needed it. I needed it for 5 minutes, 5 minutes or more. So you work that very well until you get something like that. You can oil that. I don't like to use too much flour on it, so you'll notice that I use oil whenever I'm doing that. So I will require a knife because I want to push on that. If you have a kitchen scale, if you want to get even sized buns, I would advise you to use a kitchen scale and get about 70 grams of each, 70 grams of each bun. So each bun should be about 70 grams, and then you get even sized buns, all of them. No matter what design you do, there'll be, well, it depends on how much you want, but I think 70 grams would be a good sized bun. So that's what I'm doing. The first bun will be a spiral. The first sweet bun will be a spiral, and look at how nice the color looks. Food color was not too overpowering. Please, if you cannot or you don't know how to measure food color, please do not use it. Don't use it, because if you overdo it, then you'll have to get rid of your dough. And remember, we are using a nail-sized amount on our dough, and you see that's quite, this can produce about 12 buns, 12 equal size buns. So that's a lot. That's not, that's a lot. That's a lot. So if you have a family of maybe 4, you can do so. That's the second design that I've done. So you can shape your bread buns or your sweet buns in any way any shape or form that makes you can plate that. You can make it into 3 plates. You can design it into whatever form that you want to design. So today I'm just playing around with some three designs of the bun. I'm not going to be doing any plates, so I'm just going to ensure that all that is just rolled like that. So ensure please that you work. So the third design that I'm doing, that I was doing, is actually a dove. So that's the back, and then the head. So you can design these however you want. You can design this however you want, and then leave them to proof. Leave them to proof for about an hour, and then put them in the oven for about 20 minutes. 20 minutes, and be careful, they cook very fast. So after you've preheated your oven, of course we're not preheating our oven now because we still have to wait an hour. So almost 20 or 15 minutes to an hour, then you can go and preheat your oven. By then our dough will have proofed, and it will have risen and doubled in size. So those are designs, and they're looking really lovely. They're looking really nice. So those are my designs. We've left the dough for an hour, and everything has doubled in size, like you can see. My 2 little doves there were so crowded at the corner. So you can see you can do this in any design that makes you happy. And these are things that will be pleasing to the eye, that are so easy to make. It has just taken us a few ingredients, just egg, flour, yeast, sugar, just a little sugar. These are not very, very sweet. They're not very, very sweet. And they also have the dried sultanas, the dried fruits. So I've added some dried fruit so that that really comes out really well. So what I'm doing here is that I'm egg washing the buns so that they come out really shiny and really brown and really attractive. So once we are done, we are going to just ensure that these ones go inside the oven for about 20 minutes. I think 25 minutes is too much. 25 minutes is too much. Just ensure that after 20 minutes, you've checked that they are ready. This is the final part of our video, and as you can see, my buns are ready and they're looking really, really good. They're looking cooked. They're cooked well. In the inside, they are soft. They smell so good. They look so good, and everything is fine. And that's our final product. I wanted to show you the bottom of that. Yeah, and they're soft also in the inside, really, really soft and bread-like. So that's our bun, looking nice, looking good. And those are my buns. That's the final product, and please ensure that you try this. If you do, let me know in the description box if you made them exactly the way I made them, and if yours came out this way. And you can also let me know what you think about this at the bottom of the let me know. Like, share, subscribe if you have not subscribed. My returning subscribers, thank you for just keeping me going. I love you. And we have come to the end of our video. We've come to the end of our video. Please subscribe if you have not. Like, share, and comment at the bottom of the video. Let me know what you think about this recipe. Wow your guests with this recipe, and let's meet in the next video where I'm going to be making some simple cupcakes. Goodbye.